Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome to the Soul Therapy Wellness Summit. As you know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and while the world gets louder, we've decided to go deeper. This summit is a month-long series featuring real conversations with some of the most powerful voices in wellness every Tuesday and Thursday in May at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live online. I'm Dr. Javon Jackson, founder of Good News Financial and Investment Advisors, also known as the Financial Coach of Hope. And we are the beacon of hope in the retirement readiness and financial wellness industries. We promise tailored educational workshops for corporate teams for maximum employee engagement, productivity, and sustainability. We also serve the B2C community in entrepreneurial executives who are concerned about market volatility. They're usually writing big checks to the IRS every year and just find themselves in this cycle of draining and replenishing their savings to finance their lifestyles or businesses. So we show them how to grow their money safely, drastically cut their taxes, and become their own bank so they can save and generate more income in retirement. And so, because financial wellness is mental wellness too, and that's exactly why these conversations absolutely matter. So, before we dive in, I want to give a special thank you to the Washington Informer, our official media partner, for helping us amplify this important conversation throughout our community and beyond. And if you haven't officially registered for the full summit, please be sure to click the link in the show notes. Once you register, you'll receive live access links for every session directly in your inbox. All right. So now I would love to bring on my amazing co-host. I'm joined this month by my brilliant co-host, Julian B. Kiganda of Soul Therapy Media and Kiera Fenderson of the Ambition Studio. And in her absence, Lakeisha Vinay of Divine Wine Jelly. We all believe that wellness is a we thing: mind, body, money, identity, community, and joy. We are all covering it, all of it, in this summit. So let's introduce yourself, ladies. Tell our amazing audience a little bit about who you are and what you guys do and the wellness you bring into the world.
Greetings, everyone. And joy, that's in the title, the Joy Architect. I am Julian B. Chiganda, the Joy Architect at Soul Therapy Media. And I have a question for all of you out there. How many of you came into work today running on empty? The answer to that question is exactly why we built this summit, because that used to be me. As a founder of Soul Therapy Media in 2022, I experienced my own mental health crisis after attending 6 funerals in 1 year. And what pulled me back from the brink was getting intentional about joy. So y'all, that is my word. And it changed everything about how I see this work. As a creative wellness agency, we don't just run a workshop and leave. We get to the root of the problem by working with your people, your brand, and your culture. Because you can't fix one without touching the others. And what we know is that when your people are thriving, everything else follows. So welcome, and over to you, Kiera.
Oh, thank you so much, Julian. Hi, everyone. For those of you who are new to the summit, my name is Kiera Fenderson. I am the founder and CEO of the Ambition Studio. We're an award-winning coaching firm who focuses on expanding leadership capacity. So whether you're a founder or you're a leader running a high-paced team in an organization, you probably are feeling really strung tight right now with how to manage the workload, the life load, the mental loads, all the loads, right? So our firm comes in and helps you and your teams understand what your capabilities are versus what your capacity is so that you're able to maximize your productivity, but also enjoy life, right? So if your organization or you find that you're struggling with ways to be more sustainable and really be high performing, then let's connect after this so that we can start a conversation. And what I want you all to remember, especially if you're new, is please do stick around to the end, because at the end of this incredible session, we will be having one of our famous giveaways. And all you need to do is put in your key takeaway at the end of the session, because this is not just a feel-good conversation. We are giving you practical tips to allow you to apply it to your wellness right now. And one of the best things, the most transformational things you can do for yourself is to reflect at the end and say, what am I taking away and what am I implementing? And we're going to hold you accountable by making sure you drop it in the chat during the session or at the end of the session. So that's it. Just watch, share what you learn, and you could be a winner. And before we jump into this conversation, we got to pass it back over to Julian to share with us one of her daily wellness cards. Julian, please tell us what the card is today.
So for everybody who may be watching for the first time, these daily wellness cards are tools that help you reset your day very quickly just by picking one of these cards to practice and fit into your daily work or life. And today's card, which is very appropriate, is mindful cooking. Turn mealtime into a moment of presence. Slow down, cook with intention, and choose ingredients that truly nourish you. Mindful cooking helps you honor your body and restore inner calm. Why it works. This is the science behind it, because there's always a reason for doing these things, right? Cooking can be a creative activity that encourages mindfulness and self-care. Preparing healthy meals supports both physical health and emotional well-being, providing a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. And that is today's card. So I encourage you all to sit with that today. Now, we're going to pass it all over to Jovan so we can get into this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Kiara. Let's get ready. All right, family. So today we are talking about something that many people overlook when it comes to emotional wellness and mental clarity: the connection between what we eat and how we feel. Because sometimes the exhaustion, brain fog, mood swings, anxiety, lack of focus, and even burnout we're experiencing may not only be emotional or environmental. Sometimes our bodies are literally missing the nutrients they need to function optimally. Our guest today is Robin Muhammad, Miss Robin Muhammad, Mrs. Robin Muhammad, a certified nutritionist and founder of Necessary Nutrition Incorporated. For over 17 years, she has inspired thousands of women to use food and targeted nutrition strategies to reclaim their health, balance hormones, and thrive from the inside out. She is also the creator of the Necessary Nutrition line of supplements, including vitamin D, magnesium, and plant based protein powder, all formulated to support optimal health specifically for women over 40. That's us. Today, she's helping us understand the missing link between nutrition and emotional wellness and giving us practical tools that we can start implementing, say, immediately. All right, so please help me welcome our special guest, Mrs. Robin Muhammad. Hey, Robin.
Thank you so much for inviting me into this space. I really appreciate the opportunity to share on this topic because it is a big one and it is important.
It is. Thank you so much for joining us. And as you know personally, I have, I guess, been a little bit more transparent in my wellness journey. And I've started to, really document my journey. And I've even shared how you and I met a few months ago. Of course, we met at another amazing event, but God had us to meet I
Yes.
believe, divinely. And so since then, I've been able to personally partake in your program,
Yes.
your community, and it has been amazing and invaluable. So I'm really glad to be able to, from a personal perspective, to share, the skills and the expertise that you bring to our community. So
Yes.
thank
Thank you.
you again.
I actually want to say this before we even jump into to thank Julian for what she said. I was taking notes from the back when she said, "Be intentional about your joy," and that
Mm,
is important. And even bringing food into how to make sure that fits into your joy in the most appropriate way. So I just wanted to shout out to Julian and just thank her for saying that statement, to be intentional about your joy, because we all need that as a reminder.
absolutely. Absolutely. All
Yes.
right, Robin. So before we get into the yummy stuff, I
Yes.
just want to start with a statistic or a research that, according to the Mental Health Foundation, poor
Mhm.
nutrition can contribute to fatigue,
Yep.
lower concentration, and increase feelings of anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
We've shared, and you've already spent over 17 years helping women reconnect food and wellness. Would you mind walking us through what got you into this line of work? And I guess what even first opened your eyes to the connection between nutrition and emotional health?
So how I got into this work, honestly, was once upon a time I ate out of a can. So this was 30, no, 20 plus years ago. And I didn't know the power of nutrition, that food will either kill you or keep you alive, that the diseases we face or the ailments are due in part to what you put in your mouth or what you don't put in your mouth. And I did not know the connection. When I found out through my own journey, it just opened my eyes. And I said, I have to share this. This is part of my now mission, because so many of us don't know. We eat a lot of times because we're hungry or it's yummy to our tummy, and we're not thinking about the necessity or the power that it has. And for women over 40, this is more critical than ever. We had more wiggle room in our 20s and our 30s,
Mm-hmm.
but now, and I'm in my 50s, we have to eat with intention.
Mm-hmm.
And it does matter what you eat. What you think, feel, and believe has a role in what you put in your mouth. It
Mm.
does.
Wow.
It does.
You couldn't have said that better, because I think every woman or man over
Mhm.
40 can attest to how our bodies are just different now. And the things that we used to can do before, we aren't able to do the same way.
Yes.
So
And our mental is different.
yes,
We're going to talk
absolutely.
about why that is even so, but
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I want to ask you this. Many people tend to separate physical health from the mental health, but
Mm,
as you stated, they're deeply connected. So, how
um,
much of what we experience is stress, fatigue, or even anxiety could actually be linked to our diet? And what are
okay.
people overlooking most of the time?
So if you are not eating what your body is needing,
Mhm,
then it can drain your energy. So it'll make you feel tired, make you feel grumpy or
mhm,
moody or if
mhm.
you're not getting it, because what you're eating feeds your brain, and then your brain is what you are hoping to use out in the world. So if it
Right.
doesn't have the nutrients, because your brain is full of, it needs food. If you're
Yeah.
not giving it, then it can show up as the anxiety, because certain foods now for us can bring about anxiety.
Mm,
Can, right, I know things you could eat or drink before now may take your body into another space. I know your face is,
yeah. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
like, really? What?
right.
What is that? I need to
What is
stop.
that? Okay, well, and I'll tell. So I will make sure that we cover that. But again, when with stress, let me say this: as specifically women over 40.
Mm-hmm.
In this space, we have our mother of hormone, which is our estrogen. And the estrogen is a regulator in our mood, our blood sugar, our anxiety, our energy, all of those things. So, estrogen. Now, as the estrogen is declining, which is inevitable for us at this stage, we have to be even more intentional about eating certain foods that are estrogen modulators, meaning that if your estrogen is high, it helps to bring it stable. If it's low, it helps to bring it up.
Okay.
Because remember, the estrogen is coming and going. There's foods that support it. And when we don't have the estrogen, that also will lead to the brain fog, the mental fatigue. So we have to eat the foods that support the estrogen that will support to regulate our bodies. My intention with this is to give you all simple tips and tools because it's a big subject.
Yeah.
So I want to just give you a few things that you can do today to support that, and a few key foods that we all should be consuming
Mhm.
daily for who we are in this stage.
Wow, that was eye-opening because, of course, we eat what we've been taught to
Mhm.
eat or what we think is good, but
Yes,
never have we been told that there are certain foods that contribute to some of the things, the very things that we're trying to avoid.
the
So
very
I'm really looking forward to hearing more about that.
yes,
Now, and as you talked about fatigue, a lot of times people think they're just tired because of work or life, right?
yeah.
So, what are some of the signs that your body and our brains, right, aren't being that tells us that we're not being properly nourished?
Okay. So one of the things that, and there are many things that tell us that we're not being properly nourished. If you're ever shaky, if your body feels shaky,
Mhm.
if you are just incredibly tired, even you eat and then you're really tired after that, some of the signals that you're not being properly nourished is maybe your blood sugar is high or than it should be. Physically, your hair may be changing. It may be uh, thinning more. It may be falling out.
Mhm.
I mean, there is a list, I mean, a long list of things that let us know, even with the thinking, trying to concentrate, that it's at the tip of my tongue. What am I, what is that
Mhm.
called?
Mhm.
Lets you know that there are some things that are
Mm.
off in your body. And when we get into it, I want to tell you the specific nutrients and the foods that include them that you want to make sure that you are locked in on.
Well, I'm open. Let's get into it now. I know it may be off of the questions, but if
No
you don't
worries.
mind, yeah,
No
let's
worries.
flow with it. And because you definitely made me think about some of the things I've been feeling myself with dryness
Mhm,
in my own skin, in my
mhm.
scalp, my body, right? And a lot of times we've self-diagnosed ourselves as being ADHD. I know a lot of my friends, we jokingly say it, but it's like you said, hard to focus. That's a real thing for us,
Yeah,
especially
it
us
is
the
real.
ambition women, right? We're wearing all the hats, we're doing all the things, and our minds are constantly going. So yeah, I would love to just kind of hear about what do you think some of those foods and hidden signs that we could be more prevalent to.
Okay, so let's talk about the foods first.
Okay.
Let's just talk
All right.
about some key important nutrients. So I want
Okay.
to talk in terms of nutrients and then I'll bring in the foods.
Okay.
Let's start with protein.
Okay.
Protein, and I will give you an example of what protein foods are, but protein is the nutrient, the macronutrient that our bodies need in order to regulate our blood sugar, our muscle mass, our metabolism. When we do not have the adequate amount of protein balanced in our body, that will can contribute to foggy thinking. It can contribute to weight gain. It can contribute most significantly to our blood sugar being out of whack.
Mhm.
With protein, so that would be chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, tofu, tempeh, Greek yogurt, protein powder. That's an example. Cottage cheese. I didn't list everything, but those are the protein.
Okay.
So you want to, as a woman over 40,
Mhm.
you want to consume at minimum 100 grams of protein a day. And I say at minimum because I don't know everybody individually. So we'll start there. Oftentimes we need more,
Mhm.
especially at this age. So
Mhm.
when we are not getting the amount of protein that we need, but on the flip side, we're getting more carbohydrates, more breads, more pastas, more rice, more sugar, more even fruit, and we don't have that balance, it can contribute to the crash and
Mhm.
it can contribute to confusion, meaning not being able to focus.
Mhm.
Because if you don't have what the body needs,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to do what you need to do. And we're running on fuel or trying to run our body on fuel we don't have.
Mhm.
So that protein is that fuel. When I mentioned the amount of protein and I just threw out the number, that sounds like a lot.
Mhm.
And I created a prompt, and I believe you're going to make that available for everyone, that it's a freebie. You can pop it into chat or Claude, whoever is your friend. Plug in change the prompt, put your information in, and it'll give you a meal guide that will help you to get the amount of protein that you need in your body, as well as balance it with the starches or the carbohydrates. So you have your protein
Mhm.
and it serves as a buffer for carbohydrates, your rice, your pasta, your cookies, your chips. It serves as a buffer. So you're eating your carbohydrate, you have that protein. The protein grabs it, slows it down so that it
Mhm.
can help balance out your body.
Mhm.
Without that, if you are just having a snack and you're eating popcorn, which
Mhm.
is a carbohydrate by itself without protein, it's going to throw off your blood sugar. If you're eating
Mhm.
a bowl of oatmeal, not that it isn't healthy, but if you're eating that without protein, it's going to throw off your blood sugar. Anytime we are eating a carbohydrate without marrying it with the protein, it's going to throw off our blood sugar, which then can lead to a domino effect. And we're talking about energy, mental clarity. That is what is significant in terms of a food. So the protein. And that is also one of the biggest mistakes that I notice overall that people make when it comes to their nutrition,
Mhm.
is not getting enough to balance their carbohydrates and give their body what it needs to function.
Mm. Yeah,
Yes.
that's significant because personally, I'm a pescatarian, so
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of the meats that typically people get, and
Yeah.
also I do a lot of the carbs, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so you really made me start to think about there's moments, yeah, I just feel really tired, and it's probably exactly what you're saying. I'm not balancing the protein.
And I want people to understand that carbs are not the enemy, but
Okay,
I'll give you
thanks.
an example. Yeah, it's not the enemy. In fact, we need
Yeah, we
carbohydrates
do.
we need carbohydrates for energy. So
Yes.
check this out. We need carbohydrates for energy. When we have reached our threshold, when our body has enough
Mhm.
energy, so a carbohydrate is going to turn the excess into sugar and store as fat in our body. So
Mm.
anything in excess of what we need then starts to work against us.
Yes,
We
that makes
need we need it, and then what's left is no longer our friend. When it comes to carbohydrates, the question is, okay, well, how much of that?
yeah.
So if you think of either one cup, one piece, or one serving, not all at once. So if you have your fish, you have 5 to 6 ounces, that is going to give you 30 grams of protein with that one meal, 30 to 35. So if you're doing 3 meals and you're getting 35 grams of protein per, then you'll get there.
Okay.
So you have your fish, I'm using you as an example,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a half of a cup or a cup of rice.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your carb balance, or you want a piece of bread, then you have one piece that will give you the balance.
Mm-hmm.
But what we tend to have the tendency to have is we'll have our fish, some potatoes, a little bit of corn, and some corn, and a little muffin on the side, and then some sweet tea. Then we've thrown off the balance. Now I'm tired. We have the itis. We've eaten,
Yeah.
tired, and then we can't think and focus.
Yeah.
So that's where protein comes in. There are other foods, but I don't want to just keep going. I want to make sure that if you have questions, but that's number 1.
Okay.
You also want to have appropriate fat. I'll just throw out 3. Avocado is an appropriate fat. Extra virgin olive oil is an appropriate fat. And also fish, fatty fish. So your salmon, your mackerel are appropriate fat because the brain needs the fat in order to function. So when you're eating, you have a little olive oil on your plate, it's giving you the fat, which is feeding the brain.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Your vegetables do so many things, but your leafy greens, your chard, your arugula, spinach, and then with you're called cruciferous vegetables, your cauliflower, your broccoli, every time you eat, you want to bring life into your food by adding a vegetable source because that is the healer for your body. It's also, some of the leafy greens are also serve as estrogen support.
Okay.
So we need the fat, we need the protein,
Mm-hmm.
we need the vegetables, and we need them seriously. Because we think vegetables with every meal, like with my morning, yes, every meal with the most that you can bring them in, it is going to support all of what you want it to support.
Mm-hmm.
Water. That's a simple one that we don't get enough of, but it's flushing out. It's giving your brain what it needs. And if we're dehydrated, we definitely will be tired. We definitely will not be able to think.
Mm-hmm.
So dehydration is a big one. So water. And then I'm going to table the come back to when we talk about supplementation when we get to that.
Okay.
But just giving the protein, and use the prompt, y'all. It's so useful. The fat and the vegetables. Those are the 3 categories of foods that bringing into your diet every day is important. I want to add this in. Flaxseed. So flaxseed, ground flaxseed is a estrogen support. It's a modulator. It also is fiber. It helps the bowels, the blood sugar. It's a superfood for us over 40. You can put it in your oatmeal, your smoothies, your salads, a tablespoon or 2 daily. I ground and I said keep it in the refrigerator. Also is a superfood for your body, for your brain. So that's something that
Nice. Those are good tips. We can take all of those away and we're going to recap those in a second. Let me ask you this, Robin. A lot of people know what to eat. You just kind of gave us what to eat, right? But consistency is the hard part, right?
It's hard.
What role does mindset and emotional wellness play in building healthier habits?
It really does. And also who is in your house with you. Who is in your house with you. So let me back up and say and give a tip about just starting out the day. Read, watch, and listen to. So when you start your day, read, watch, and listen to only those things that are in alignment with the person that you want to be. So something spiritual, motivational. I think Julian had the cards. When you start your day on that, your brain starts to click in addition to gratitude. Because sometimes we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or we just feeling a kind of a way. I recommend before we eat or drink or do any of that, that we give thanks for things that are going right before we get into what's not going right.
Right.
Start our day that way, then drink you some water, and then make sure that you're eating food that has protein. I think I lost the actual question that you asked me. So can you say it again so I can just make sure that I answered it based on what you said, unless I did. But
Yeah, you pretty much, you're just asking what does that role, right, of
yeah.
mindset have
Consistency.
it, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about consistency
Yeah.
because those that are listening, you're going to get off of this and you're going to be pumped up and you're going to have your protein and all that. And then it's very easy to get back into the routine.
Yeah.
And that's when I mentioned that if I could, the routine that I want you all to start with is the read, watch, and listen to the things that are in alignment with who you are, because that reminds you of who you want to be. And then if you are only consistent with one meal, start there, meaning that, okay, this is a lot to change. I'm gonna change one thing, right? I don't know if I can have vegetables at every meal because I don't have vegetables with any meal. So let me do one vegetable with a meal. Just let me start with one of a half of a cup if I'm not doing any. So to help us, just start small, master one thing, and honor yourself for doing that one thing. We have the tendency to overdo a thing. I'm gonna get this weight off. I'm gonna work out every day forever. And we don't work out ever. We're not doing 2 days. And now we're all of a sudden thinking we're gonna do 5 days. So the consistency, say, start with one thing and just honor what you accomplished. Like celebrate that you had a vegetable, celebrate that during one meal you put that protein in and you reduced your carbohydrates. Celebrate and do it once and just master that one.
Yeah.
And when you have it, and then say, okay, this is easy now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move into 2. Because we try to do too much and then we get discouraged.
Exactly.
And we're like, I'm not gonna do anything. Like,
We're already overwhelmed with all the things. And so adding, and that was my next question. What is that one thing for that person who feels overwhelmed, exhausted, right? Disconnected from their body? Where should they start? And so you've kind of answered that. Just start with that one thing.
And we have different personalities, right? Some people are like, they can go all in and that's their personality.
Yeah.
And then, but a lot of us, we need baby steps because we're habitual. We're used to doing what we've been doing for so long. And now you're asking me to do what? Change.
Right.
So
we forgot all the
it's like, but keep in mind that the change is all there is. There's inevitable. Our bodies are changing, whether we like it or not. And we have to then make that shift with the body that is shifting. We have to do that, or we'll get left behind. It's doing what it's doing. And if we don't recalibrate and do something different, then, and you've seen it, people that are older, 80s, 70s, unable to walk or move or do or be, because we're resistant to change. But change is happening. And the more that we resist, it doesn't stop the change.
That's right.
It doesn't stop the change. So we want to go with it and recreate who we be in this stage.
Let's talk a little bit about the supplemental part.
Okay.
Right. We hear that word a lot. We don't, it's thrown out a lot of different ways. Talk to us about what you recommend for supplementation and why. Why do we even need to supplement to begin with? And what are those main core supplements that you would recommend for our audience?
So let's talk about mental health. Okay, I'm going to talk about supplements because we have the tendency, there's so many out there, and should I take this? Should I take that? It's a lot. It's confusing.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you all three that are must-haves for your mental wellness and for your overall wellness, especially if you're a woman over 40. Okay? Just these 3. Now, you might ask when I mention these three, because I'm in your all's heads out there, well, what about this supplement? And what about that? So these are the three that are foundational. The other ones are situational, and I'll explain the difference. So let me get into the foundational ones and why.
Mhm.
So we're going to talk about vitamin D3 and K2. I'll explain what the K2 does, but in terms of your mental health, the vitamin D helps with your mood. It helps with your blood sugar. It helps with your gut. Now, your gut, what's going on in your gut, so your stomach, that is directly connected to your mental health. So what's in your stomach, if your gut is overly populated with bacteria and not the bad bacteria, it's going to signal your brain in an adverse way.
Hmm.
So going back to the foods, and I'm coming back to the supplements, but going back to the foods, you want to make sure that you're giving your body in your gut as many of the high quality whole foods that I mentioned so that it can signal to your brain what you want it to signal, which is to give you health, energy, clarity, and not having you mad at everybody.
Right.
Right? So the vitamin D is a support with the mental health, mood. It helps our hair. It helps our immune system. It helps so many things.
Wow.
Our body, our cells have vitamin D receptors. So meaning that in order for our cells to work properly, they call out for vitamin D. Vitamin D is in the sun. We're not out in the sun that much. So supplementation is very, very critical. So that is the first foundational supplement. And I'll explain why K2 with it is important. But vitamin D, number one.
Okay.
Number two would be magnesium. Now, there's so many different forms of magnesium that's very, very confusing. Which one, why, how? What I want to impress upon you is to stay away from magnesium oxide. That's the one that is in the stores a lot. Everything that I'm saying, since most of y'all don't know me, do your research. Magnesium oxide doesn't absorb in your body very well at all. So let me tell you what magnesium does. And I'm specifically talking right now about magnesium glycinate. Then I'm going to give you another form of alternative form of magnesium. But magnesium glycinate specifically helps with reducing or supporting our stress, our anxiety, muscle tension and pain, and sleep. So for us, you need sleep in order to restore your body, and magnesium helps you to sleep and have a restful night so you can wake up ready to do all of the things. When our body is depleted of magnesium, then it doesn't function as well. Magnesium is also critical, and a lot of people don't know this, in order to activate vitamin D. There's another form of magnesium. So magnesium glycinate is a number one magnesium form that is suggested for us in this stage. But I want you all to know that there is another form, threonate, that is specifically helpful for the brain and the mood. That form of magnesium is better taken during the day, and it also helps with energy. Glycinate is magnesium that is best taken at night. Now, I actually don't take the threonate, I take glycinate, but because we're having a conversation about mental health,
Yes.
I would be doing you all a disservice if I did not mention the other form of magnesium, because I know that that is also directly supporting the mental health, the mood, and energy.
Awesome.
And then lastly would be your omegas. So for you being a pescatarian, you're likely getting a good amount of omegas. Supplementation wise, people think of fish oil. I personally take a plant-based omega, but omegas help the brain, it helps the joints, it helps your heart. And those are the three foundational ones. So vitamin D3, K2, magnesium, glycinate, and omegas are the three. Now, we won't have time for me to go into what to look for and which ones are best and all of those things. There's so many supplements, and the supplements are not a regulated industry. So you could literally put anything on the shelf, and some are better than others. So we'll just kind of table that conversation for now. But
we'll do a part two.
We'll do a part two about that. But and since I'm very intimate with the creation of supplements and how they're made, and the consumer doesn't know, but the people that make them, they know.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's little dirty tricks that manufacturers can do or don't do to do certain things in supplements. But anyways, those are the three.
Okay.
That are so useful for nutritionally the whole body, and then specifically our mental well-being.
Awesome. Let's throw those up and recap for our audience. If we're going to put that back up, because I know she threw quite a few things out. So here's just a quick recap of the takeaways that Robin just shared with us. So Robin, if you want to run through them again quickly.
Yeah. I'm so impressed by y'all. So the minimum of the protein intake, yes, 100 grams. And I believe that you'll have access to the prompt that you can put into your chat or Claude to help you out. Use the AI for that. You want to take your foundational omegas, your vitamin D3 plus K2 and your magnesium, and train your brain. Read, watch, and listen to only the things that are in alignment with who you truly want to be, because that helps the brain just start off, and then always begin your day with gratitude, which seems so simple and something people can overlook.
Yeah.
But when you, going back to the gratitude, your brain, it trains your brain, and it really changes us biologically, and it starts us to look for more of the good. And the more that you look for the good, the more you will see the good, and the more it will support your intentional joy, well-being, and your mental health. And this is the thing with mental health. Some days we just are gonna truly not be in the mood. You could have eaten all the protein, all the things, and now it's just you want everybody to leave you alone, and nobody's even bothering you.
That's right, especially us women around certain times of the month. So it's just not the best.
Just leave me alone. And I've learned to rest, really, really rest without guilt, it's because we need it. And I often hear women say, well, I'm too busy to rest. And my philosophy is I'm so busy, I have to rest.
That part, yes.
Yeah.
You have to rest.
Have to rest. Absolutely.
That's so powerful. That's powerful. Thank you for really breaking that down. I remember when I first met you and you shared that, you had a supplemental line, and I said, oh, well, is it like you selling for somebody else, or you white label? You were like, no, you said it so nice and humbly.
I know.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, she might be the real deal. No, she created something here, which I think is amazing and powerful.
And I don't even talk about that. And when I don't talk about it, it is a big deal, because people do say, yes, Necessary Nutrition Supplements was created by myself and a partner in 2009. So a long time ago, because I was a consumer and I was going to the store and I'm like, what's in this product and why is it in the product? And there's certain things we take in products, believe it or not, that we think are healthy, and it's making us worse.
Wow.
Because we're taking a supplement that has inflammatory oils, and we don't know it, because when you're making a supplement and you're putting fillers and certain oils, it just makes it cheaper to produce. And people are none the wiser, and they will. And so when I saw that, I said, I can do better. I'm going to do better, because I need something to take. That's how
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Well, I want to bring my co-host back up because I'm sure they are buzzing with some questions to ask. So let me be quiet and give them the floor, as well as our audience who may have some questions. So the floor is yours, ladies.
Yeah.
That was so good,
Thank
Robin.
you, Julian.
Thank you for that. Listen, I was taking all kinds of notes as you were talking. About to get into those supplements you got. And I love what you said about celebrating your wins. That's actually one of the daily wellness cards. It's like, oh, she's speaking my language, because we get so caught up in taking these big steps, and then we give up if we don't see progress immediately. And I just recognize that celebrating those small wins is what can actually give you the momentum to keep going. So
absolutely.
I love that you said that. I do want to bring up a couple questions from some of our audience members. One of our audience members asked, and I think this is when we were talking about the protein intake or lack thereof. She asked, is this what leads to DVT? Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. Let me see, where is it? Oh, here we go. Is this what leads to DVT? Which is, from what I looked it up, because I'm like, I have no idea what DVT is. Deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, I'm like DVT. That's a good one.
Okay.
Not necessarily. So I always get questions, and I love a question that's not necessarily in my wheelhouse. But with deep vein thrombosis, there's a lot of reasons that could cause that. But a clot running through the body could be from a blockage in your veins or in your arteries from food related, but it's not necessarily because it's like a whole body nutrition piece to it, not just protein itself. So I want to make sure I'm answering the question. DVT, so the thrombosis is not just because you didn't get enough protein directly.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Great. Yes. No.
Now, blood sugar issues directly related to the protein intake and lack thereof, and then any kind of blockage in our veins or arteries are due in part to we're eating foods that are clogging it, and we're not eating enough foods that are taking that clog out. So that is a nutrition thing with us. And then the whole lifestyle that we're living in terms of stress, that plays a role in there. And then if you're on an airplane and you don't have compression socks, that too is or long, you're on an airplane or sitting anywhere for a long period of time without compression socks or without can lead to that. So I hope that helped. Not necessarily directly related to the protein.
Yeah. And then one other question, I'm not sure. Yes, she did say thank you. You answered that DVT question. There is a question about the name brand of the supplements, but I'm going to hold that until later because we're actually going to talk about that in a second. And then this is, again, probably, it might not be a question in your wheelhouse, but somebody also asked, is it okay to take supplements when on Eliquis? Eliquis. Okay.
So, so Eliquis, is that the blood thinner?
Probably. It sounds because it's from the same person, so it's probably related to that.
Yeah. So Eliquis is helping with going back to the DVT or relaxing your blood so it can flow through. Certain supplements act as blood thinners, and this is a really good question. So omegas act as a blood thinner, and then also D3 with K2. If you're taking a blood thinner, it can interact. So that's a good, valid question. For those who are taking blood thinners, I do not recommend D3 with K2. I recommend vitamin D without the K, only because it can conflict with the blood thinners. That's a really good question. And that one I do know.
Okay, listen, you're talking to the right one.
That one I do know. I'm happy. This is the thing. Over all these years, every time I get a question that I don't know, then I will know it, right? And so now the DVT, I was like, "What is DVT?" I'm on a live video, and I gotta be like,
"That's why I looked it up because I'm like, I didn't know what it was."
But what? I don't want to act like I don't know because it might be something like, some food that I'm supposed to know about. I'm like, oh Lord, I don't know.
I know. Yeah,
Okay.
I love that. And I think Kiara may have had a couple questions as well.
Yeah, Robin, the amount of notes that I have is out of control. And I want to thank you for delivering everything to us so patiently.
Yes.
You have a way of speaking to us because, you know, you're absolutely right. Our second brain is our gut.
Yeah.
And when I'm working with really highly ambitious women and leaders, and they're showing up the sessions and they're like, okay, I'm just going to try to finish this lunch, or they haven't had lunch. It makes the mind-body connection of, well, you will not be able to show up very well in this space if you haven't taken care of yourself. So thank you for that. I actually wanted to ask you a question about that for the listeners, the people who are watching who are really busy professionals, right?
Yes.
So maybe they're traveling a lot. And we know how those airports are. We know how it is when we're in a hotel.
Yes.
How would you advise us making decisions around choosing the right foods? How do we eat healthy when we can't cook at home? You know, what are we looking for? Because 100 grams of protein, I mean, I feel like we'd be reading the labels at Chick-fil-A or something.
Let me help you out. Traveling, busy. And I am that person too, even though I look like I'm calm. I am calm, but I am also on the go and moving around a lot. On the go, here are some tips.
Okay.
And I'm giving general tips because I'm going to say boiled eggs, and some of y'all are like, I hate boiled eggs, but generally speaking, so on the go, you can boil some eggs and keep them. You can, if you can do nitrate-free deli meat, if that's your thing, you can do that. Also, I use protein shakes a lot to get, when I don't have time, I'll put it in my shaker bottle and shake it up and go. I'll always have some nuts with me to do it. I rely heavily though on protein shakes to help to get through. And then when you're out at conferences and restaurants and all of those things, there's two things. If it's situational, you're not always on the road, then you might say, okay, I'm going to go with the flow here. Because sometimes it's what you want to eat is not available. And then I will go back home and literally do a fast or a reset of my body. That is a tool that I use when or I'm on vacation and I want to live la vida loca and I don't want to out none of it. Then I go home and do a reset. But if you are not, if you can choose as much as you can, the vegetables and the protein, when you're out and someone else is controlling your food, trust and believe they're going to give you carbohydrates because it's cheaper for them. And so there's where you're just going to have for me, I have a protein shake literally before I go down to whatever meal, because now I have my protein and now I know they're going to give me some extra stuff.
That's good.
And I'll eat the protein and I will cut those carbs in half. I will not eat their bread. If they've given me potatoes, then I'm just having the potatoes. I'm gonna look at the bread. I'm gonna want that bread, but I'm gonna push it to the side.
Now, Robin, you got me on the popcorn because everybody know in this house I eat so much popcorn. I gotta pop it on the stove. So when you said match it with a protein
shake, just drink the protein shake with your popcorn. Like you were gonna drink water. That's my recommendation. That's what I do.
Because I do eat a lot of protein shakes. So,
I like a lot of protein shakes because it's like it's like my drink. So then I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm still having, in your case, popcorn, but you're drinking your water and you put your protein in it, and then you're balancing it out.
And then add our flaxseed powder. That's what I wrote down, right?
Flaxseed. Yeah, if you can add flaxseed. So I've never put my flaxseed in my protein shake as a shake up. I've done it in smoothies where I can blend it.
Yeah.
Another thing I didn't mention in terms of protein is I put collagen inside of Jovan and I were talking. She tried it. She put it in her water. And you said it, would you say it worked or it didn't work?
I didn't taste it. It's tasteless, but it just didn't absorb as much, but I still,
you did it. So I will add collagen powder into wherever I can because it's also a protein source.
That's
You're
good.
such a wealth of information. I am so excited to jump into the free resources, everything we got to share. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So y'all know you got to go follow Robin. This is amazing. Is there any other questions?
I just have one quick question that I wanted you to clarify because I feel like we kind of rolled over it. The significance of the K2.
Yeah. So K2, yes, thank you. So K2, let me see if I can break this down. So we have calcium in our bodies, running through our bodies, not calcium supplementation, but calcium that we get from food. And if that calcium is not told where to go, it can end up where you don't want it to go. So in your arteries, away from your bones. So you've heard of arterial calcification, where the calcium has deposited itself where it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So with K2 and D3 together, they work synergistically to take the calcium and put it into your bones and move it away from your heart. Right. So it's a director. But if you are on a blood thinner, it's not that you don't need the K2, it's just that nutrient conflicts with the pharmaceutical. Foods that are rich in K2 include some of our animal proteins, egg yolks, but we're usually not getting the balance properly. So generally, for most women, I say D3 with K2, but if you cannot because of the confliction with the pharmaceutical, then you just take the D by itself.
That's good. That's good. So we are literally running down on time, but we want to make sure that people get your free resource. And I think there's one special thing we want to do before we roll out that answers one of our audience members' questions.
Okay. Yeah. So you want me to say it or y'all gonna say it?
I mean, I can go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we're actually, Robin is gifting everybody with that free resource she mentioned, which is that Chat GPT prompt. Which you can download at the link on the screen or the QR code, scan that QR code. But Robin, if you want to tell us a little more about what that includes again, I think they'd love to know.
Yeah, so when you get it, it's literally a freebie. You just be able to copy it, and there's some blank spaces so that you can fill in. It'll say your weight, your goals. But what I don't want you to change is the amount of protein that I've put in there, and just update it accordingly. Put it into one of the AIs, and it'll spit out a meal guide for you based on your goals, giving you enough protein every day. And that's been such a useful resource for folks as of late. So that is for everyone. And I hope that it supports that.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And then now we can talk about the big giveaway.
Now we can talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
I don't know if it's big, but it's a giveaway.
It's a giveaway. So this answers one of our audience members' questions who asked about what was the name brand of the supplement. So there's a 2-part answer, and I'm going to let Robin jump in on this one.
Yeah, so the supplement line is Necessary Nutrition. And we feature vitamin D, all of the vitamin Ds, D3, K2. We have a vegan vitamin D. We have one without the K. We also have magnesium glycinate as capsules or a liquid, as well as collagen and plant-based protein powder. We cater to women over 40. And so the giveaway today is a bottle of the vitamin D3 with K2, and the team here will select someone, and then we will get that shipped out to you. And we're just super excited to put Necessary Nutrition in your hands and in your household. Every time with every single order, we send you a little gift in there, and also what we call a necessary blessing or a necessary word. And in that, there is a saying that will come in your box, and it depends, it changes, but it might just say, you can do hard things, queen. Who knows? It might, there's all kinds of things that it says in there, but our lot in life is not only to support your biology, but also your soul. And the last thing that comes in everyone's order is a QR code to a playlist called The Sounds of Necessary Nutrition. Yeah, and it was
Okay.
curated by our membership community. And the idea here is that it's music that's designed to make you smile and dance and inspire you and lift your mood. So when you
Oh,
get it, just
good.
pop it in and listen.
Yeah, it was
And
powerful.
yeah, that's
I was
what.
very impressed with the packaging and all that
Hey,
came in there, the value that we got. Let's throw up Robin's contact of how our community can contact her and follow her work. Please share that with everybody too, Robin. We want to make
Yep,
sure that everybody can
absolutely.
get
And
connected.
actually, real quick for the giveaway, the way to be entered in the giveaway is to comment on this video with your greatest takeaway, and then we will go back and announce the winner in our next broadcast. And without further ado, here is Robin's contact information.
okay.
Awesome. We thank you so much, Robin. I mean, what you have brought to this space today is exactly what this summit was built for. Real conversations,
Yeah.
real tools, real wellness strategies that people can actually use in everyday life. So thank you so
Thank you.
much
I
again.
appreciate the opportunity to meet all of you and to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Such a gift. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies. This
That's so
session has
good.
been so rich, so rich. And I just want to remind everybody that the session will remain available on LinkedIn and YouTube. So if this conversation moved you, please share it. Post it with our hashtags. Wellness is a we thing. Hashtag Soul Therapy Wellness Summit so that we can find your comments and then forward the replay to someone who needs this conversation. Our next session coming up on this Tuesday is
Ooh,
with Miss Kiera
right
Fenderson
there.
Thank you, Dr. Jamal.
on the topic of the hidden financial stress, draining your peace, and how to fix it. Ooh, it's going to be so good. So if you haven't registered for the full summit yet, the link is in the video description, and your seat is on us as always. And you'll receive the live link for every remaining session directly in your inbox. So we're
And
dropping those links now. So
And remember, you guys, post your takeaways. There were a lot of takeaways. I got notes out the wazoo. So if
Yep.
you want to be one of our winners for Robin's vitamin D3 and K2 supplement, post your takeaways and we will be announcing the winner at our next session on Tuesday.
Fantastic. And do not forget two things. One, if you have not registered already for the summit, the link is in the show notes, soultherapymedia.com/summit26. So you can get live links and emails for every session and you don't miss anything, including the replays. We also want to remind you that there will be a wellness mixer coming up this June in DC. So if you're not registered, you might miss out on a few details. Like the people registered are going to get the details first. So make sure you register so we can get you that information about the Wellness Mixer in June. And again, many, many, many thanks to our media partner, the Washington Informer, who has been a trusted voice in our community for over 60 years. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you in the next session because wellness is a we thing.
it's a
Goodbye.
weekend.
Bye, y'all.
Have a great day, everybody.